Well, hey, good evening, gardening friends. Welcome back to my little gardening show. I'll wait a little bit, see if anybody pops on. My 18 loyal fans. Spring is just around the corner. The weather's warming up. It's been kind of nice. We're getting a lot of rain though with that. But gearing up for the growing season. So I've kind of got my garden plan, which I've made a YouTube video about already, as far as when I should start everything. And I decided to hold off a week. You know, technically, according to the plan, I would have started my cole crops, cabbage, kale, kohlrabi, stuff like that. But I'm still within the window. What I plan to do is, as I start stuff, is I'm going to kind of mark it on this chart to see when I actually start versus the planned or early start. What do you need, bud? So anyway, we've got that going on. My wife and kids are on me about getting a dog. I don't know. Some of you guys already know, but we had a miniature dachshund for like, I don't know, 14 years, almost 15. And she had this collapsed trachea syndrome. I guess it's something that kind of breed of dog gets. And just something that kind of progressively got worse. And so about a month ago, she was kind of in a pretty bad state, you know, having trouble breathing and stuff unless she kept her neck craned and couldn't lay down and all that. Anyway, we ended up having to take her in and have her put to sleep, which hit me pretty hard, unexpectedly. But you know, after that, we didn't really want to get a dog. I've kind of enjoyed not having a dog, you know, because when you have a dog, you got to worry about the dog. You gotta, you gotta buy food for it. You gotta have, you gotta let it out. You gotta let it in. You gotta have somebody dog sit for you if you're out of town. There's just, some additional responsibility that you have. Now, with that being said, there's also the benefits, right? Just companionship, and the kids really enjoy it. And the fact that all the kids are still at home. And they've been kind of campaigning a little bit, but my wife especially, we're going to more than likely get a dog within the next 2 weeks or so. Looking at like Labradors, possibly getting a Labrador, or like a poodle mix of some kind of Labrador poodle, Labradoodle, I guess that's what they call them. So anyway, we're looking at doing all that. But anyway, in the midst of all this, I'm trying to just upgrade things as stuff breaks down. I've had, I'll just show you here real quick. I'll have to unplug. I'll move this over. So I've had this set of grow lights here for about 7 years. 6-7 years. And they've worked out okay. And I've replaced at least one of these lights. I think it's maybe that one. But it's gotten to the point where the ballasts are kind of burned out. Even when I put new bulbs in there, it wasn't working quite right. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to upgrade this setup. I had a similar setup like this over here, and I upgraded this light like 2 years ago with this fixture made by Plant Max. And they've got a larger one, but it's a 2-zone LED kind of vegetative spectrum light. Runs really cool, doesn't use a lot of energy, provides quite a bit of light. You know, I can daisy chain some stuff if I want to get some additional ones, but overall it's been a pretty good light. Does what I need it to do. Of course, I've got my seedling mat, which I've had for a long time too, and it's still working pretty well, though I may end up upgrading this at some point. I've had this for about 7-8 years now as well. So I decided to go ahead and upgrade again the fixtures that I showed you earlier with another LED light setup, and I did some checking around. Hey Tom, what's up, man? And this is what I settled on. It's a ROI E200 series. I got this from happyhydro.com. You would like this, Tom. I guess the site is really geared towards, I mean, it's hydroponic growers, but you can tell it's like heavily geared towards cannabis growers. So a lot of stuff on there kind of dealing with that. Anyway, I popped on there because, you know, I was looking around at this light and read reviews about it. It's kind of an entry-level LED full spectrum lights. It's really priced well. Most setups are, you know, $500 or more to get a decent LED. You know, unless, I mean, you can get some cheaper stuff, but for the area that this covers is really good. The little shop that I have gotten like Pro Mix from and stuff, they were selling them for like $400. Amazon had them for like $389. Well, this site had it for $299, and I had a $10 coupon since I registered. So I got it for $289 plus some shipping. And so it's kind of hilarious. They advertise, yeah, we'll send it in a nondescript packaging, blah blah blah, you know, to be discreet about it, you know, as if people are going to think I'm growing, you know, stuff I shouldn't be, right, or whatever. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. But anyway, I got it set up. I actually made a video about the setup, but I'll go ahead and show you a sneak peek here. Now this is a full spectrum LED, so hypothetically I could grow stuff, you know, from start to finish. Yeah, I bet Mitt Ladder would grow some mean weed. Yeah, that's so funny. The controls are right here. You can plug this in so that you can control it with like a digital controller and set time on it when you want it to go on and off and all that. The dial is pretty easy if I want to turn them off. If I want 25% of the power, 50, 100. And then they've got, you can go the other way as well, where it goes all the way. It's goes right to 100 going the other way with the switch. Full spectrum LED, so again, I can grow like tomatoes and peppers here in the basement if I wanted to, like, you know, miniature ones. Stuff that is going to bear, I guess, it's right in the middle of the light spectrum. I think 4,000 kV or whatever, 4,000, 5,000 kV, where it's got, it's hitting on the vegetative and the fruiting or the flowering light spectrum. So, whereas this light, My other one is just vegetative light spectrum. You know, it does good getting seeds started and all that. And this one will do really well that way too, but I'm looking forward to using this, just seeing how it works out. So yeah, pretty easy to hang up. This thing was folded down on itself, and then there was like these protectors that were on the LEDs. I had to pop off once it was installed. These straps are pretty cool too. These are ratcheting straps, so like you hear the click, right? And I've got a little jerry rig clip up there. Oh shoot. Maybe I can grow some tobacco for you in the basement. A different kind of tobacco. Too funny. I see that you're getting into diagnostic work again, Tom. I saw your post or whatnot. Now that the weather's getting nice. And my daughter hit me up again about going car shopping. She's got to work all day tomorrow. But she said, hey, if you find something you think that's good, I can tell when we're using a lot of power in the house because this panel I can kind of hear it buzzing a little bit. Probably need to upgrade that actually. I think we're running more than like kind of hitting the capacity of that panel. Need to upgrade the electric here at the house. Maybe get some stuff rewired. But anyway, messing around down here in the basement. Again, got this little grow light set up. Excited about that. I got another heat mat coming in the mail with thermostat, so I'll be able to start twice as many seeds and then keep them going in like ideal settings. Are you talking about upgrading the electric panel? I wonder how much it would cost, like to get. I mean, it's probably not gonna be that expensive to get a new panel, but I kind of wonder about the breakers and stuff. And most of that wiring looks like it's just like would handle. I don't know. I don't know what gauge wire that is. It's probably just like standard stuff. Oh. Yeah, I wonder what kind of panel it is. I'll have to do some looking on that. There's some things that are kind of janky about this house, and like that electric panel is one of them. I mean, you just look at that. Like just something about that just doesn't look right. Okay. Yeah, and then there's some like thicker wire. I'm guessing that's what's coming in to feed the panel. And then there's a big one that's big thick one that's right up there coming into it. Anywho. Yeah, it needs to be redone. at some point. So anyway, I got this heat mat coming in the mail. I was looking at all the different little hydroponic places. There's I guess this place called spidergrower.com or something. They sell all kinds of LEDs and indoor hydroponic stuff. Oh, okay. So as far as servicing now, what do? You just take the main, like the thing that's on the outside off, like basically disconnect it from the grid. Is that the deal? And then basically unwire everything, take the panel off, put the new panel on, run the wires through it. Yeah, pull the meter. Well, maybe I'll price that out and see if that's something you want to help me tackle. That would probably be good. And also give me some future space, like if I wanted to run more lines in the house. Because like right now, I know upstairs, which is the yellow, I think that's like some new lines that they ran. I think they've got too much that are on those circuits, because if we're running too many things upstairs, like let's say I'm get the lights on and I'm running a microwave and then decide to use the coffee maker, it trips it, right? And then basically, yeah. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think I'm gonna hopefully start some seeds this weekend. So that spidergrower.com, I got a heat mat and thermostat coming in the mail from them, that I'll have plugged in on this table, and then I'll be set. I'll be able to start basically 8 trays of seedlings on heat, and under like decent light, and should be pretty nice. And then once I get things out going, long enough, definitely they'll be going out to my dad's, to the greenhouse that I've got out there, so I can keep things running in here. Onion sets should be coming in the mail too, within the next couple weeks. So I'll have to hook you up with some onions as well. I'm trying to think what else is going on this weekend. Just odds and ends, projects and stuff like that. Probably gonna trim some hedges outdoors, depending on the weather. I mean, if it's raining, that might limit what I end up having, being able to do. I don't know, you got any plans this weekend? You're probably gonna be working on cars. Oh wow, okay. We ended up, I upgraded my wife's computer. So she had a Surface Pro. Oh, that's cool. The loads that you tested, were those the ones that you did with your setup? Or were they loads you just bought like at Rural King or store or something? Oh, that's neat. Yeah, I've been reading stuff in the news. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's definitely like treacherous times we're living in. We got some friends. They were, oh god, missionaries over in the Ukraine. They were able to get out of the country as everything was going on. I ended up going to Poland, got out, and now they're back in town. They flew back into the States. They're in Indianapolis now, and basically raising money and then sending it over to buy like gear, bulletproof vests, tactical stuff for um, friends that are basically fighting over there, and for the civilians, like to protect them and whatnot. I think they had a goal of raising like $10,000 or something to get all that equipment, and they've got I think 2,000 raised already, and they've only been back for like a week, maybe 2 weeks. They may end up coming to visit. I've known him since he was like 16, and they've actually came like, oh golly, 3 years ago and stayed like a week with us. It was a pretty fun time. They got 2 daughters, and his wife's pretty cool. She taught my kids how to make what's it called, borscht. It's basically like a soup you make with like old cabbage, and I think it's got beets, all kinds of stuff. It is really good. So anyway, hopefully they can make their way over again. We'll get to see them here in the next couple of months. Yeah, clean out my garage. The weather stripping. So this past winter. Oh shoot. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they are putting up a pretty good fight, but it's hard telling how that's all going to play out. Because I read another article where China is considering sending military equipment over to help the Russians now, and that, if they get involved like that, that's not going to be good. I mean, more than likely, they probably. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so first world problems. So my garage door. I guess when we got all that ice, like was that last month or whatever. Went to open the door, and the weather stripping along the bottom basically stayed on the floor, and the door open. So basically ripped it off in a couple different places. So I'm gonna have to redo that. Put some new weather stripping on the bottom of the garage door, or they sell these strips that you can actually put on instead of it being on the bottom of the garage door. It's basically glued down or fastened to the concrete floor, and it's a little bit more heavy duty. And I guess the door comes right over on top of that. It's supposed to keep water out of the garage, like if you've got problems with water coming in, which we really don't. The concrete pad for the garage here sits up just a little bit higher than the pad that's poured out. That needs to be repaired. It's got some cracks and stuff in it, but so anyway, there's all kinds of little projects like that to do to get everything up to snuff. I'm kind of curious as to whether I'm going to see the ants again. Let's take a look. Maybe. You see that outlet, like how there's stuff in there? I haven't seen any activity. I'd put that those cotton balls with sugar and borax solution. So maybe that worked, and they decided to move out. And same deal over here. So again, I'm not really seeing the ants moving around or active yet, but we'll see. So anyway, the other thing on the list, again, we're probably gonna get this dog, right? So we got some friends that got Labrador puppies for sale. I guess the dogs, they ended up having, the dog they bred, she had 11 puppies. They're all really healthy. There's maybe like one that's a little bit smaller, kind of the runt, but anyway, they've got 5 left, and they got visitors lined up. So if we decide to get something from them, I think Monday at 3:30, my wife and one of the kids is going to go over and take a look, and it's basically going to be her dog. So either doing that, or there's another one she found tonight that's like a chocolate labrapoodle or whatever. Yeah, that's what we've been told. So I'm not looking. I'm a little leery. We got a friend though who is she does dog training for a living, and so she was giving us some pointers. She said if possible, wait till they're at least 10 weeks old. If they can stay the extra couple weeks with their mother, it's just really good for them. And then once you get them, I think at about 6 months old is when you would start like dog training in earnest. Like, I mean, aside from just like the oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I bet there were some choice words that came out when you got out of the shower. That's so funny. Oh my. Yeah, so but I guess they're really smart dogs. Highly trainable. Like you can train them to where like if you mount a little bell by the door, you can train them to go, to ring the bell to let them outside to go to the bathroom and stuff like that. But so yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how that all plays out. We got I guess the other dog back. So when we had the other dog put to sleep, they had the option where you could have her cremated, and they would have, give you like a Pastor Paris paw print and stuff like that. And they did a real nice job. Like we got a little wooden box. Oh, really? Did the dog like pull him out of water? American Eskimo. Yeah, I think the other challenge too, um, with getting a dog with our yard and with our neighbors the way they are, we're gonna, if we go that route, I'm gonna end up putting in like an electric fence. And I've been kind of like looking at those, like, do I want to lay a wire in the yard, do it like that and have it rigged up where they also the fancy ones are these GPS ones where you get a collar and then basically you set up a geo fence, perimeter, and the dog, kind of learns the perimeter. You put flags up to help train it visually um, to that. And then they've got other ones that are more of a radius deal. Oh, man. Well, that's cool how the dog, like, had enough sense to get you guys up. So yeah, we're gonna we gotta figure something out. There's some things we gotta get ready. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we've got a crib that there's a recall on too. That had like this. Not because kids were suffocating on them, but they were able to get the gate down. I guess the way it worked is you lift up on the gate and then push and then lower it. And I think that's like there was some issue with that where kids were getting injured. Um, we've still got the crib though. It's in like the crawl space along with all the pieces and stuff. Trying to see how much heat these things are running. Really cool. Like there's like virtually no heat coming from these lights. This jungle fixture is actually running warmer than the other one, which makes sense because the lights are a little closer together on it. Yeah, you have to get me those eggplants here before too long, because we'll be starting them. I'll probably start them about the same time I do the tomatoes or peppers. I'll have to read up to see. Well, let's see. Yeah, it's not on my list on this list anyway. I have to read up to see exactly when to start them. But I imagine it's going to be around the same time as the tomatoes or peppers. Probably the peppers, because I think the eggplant take a little bit longer since they're not like a vine. So anyway, I'll have to hit you up, get those eggplants from you, and then if I end up doing some, golly, I don't know, if I end up doing the electric panel, hit you up. If I end up, um, figuring out the car situation for my daughter, see about getting together with you on that, and then talk my son into going shooting. I mentioned something to him. He didn't seem very interested in that, but I think it'd be a lot of fun to do that. Go to the range and see what I can do. So. Yeah, we'll have to get me some seeds, and then I'll get some stuff started. Here, I'm debating whether to do, because usually like with the cold weather stuff, they take 4 to 6 weeks, and though the weather is, yeah, though the weather is nice right now, like I know the last 2 years we've had like some nice day. Well, kind of like the last 2 weeks, right? Like it was 70 the one weekend and it ended up being like 16 degrees the next, right? So just kind of the wild swings in weather makes it hard to know when to start stuff, because a lot of stuff's going to be going outdoors. And I'd hate to start it, get going, and we get a real cold snap, and then I have to figure out how to cover everything, and then everything's struggling because it's just too cold and too wet. And then, you know, once the warm things do warm up, and I set another set out, usually they catch up anyway to the first set of plants that I put out, because the first set have been through the wild temperature swings, which kind of affected them negatively. So maybe split the difference and see, or maybe just do some succession stuff where I go ahead and do a fair amount, get some stuff out there, and then start another round just in case, or just as a succession to give that some more thought. So, all right. Well, I think I'm gonna jump off of here. Go upstairs, see what's going on. But yeah, we'll have to get together, get some seeds from you, so I can get some stuff starting going, and then figure out what my daughter wants to do with the car, and kind of go from there. So, all right, man. Well, hey, we'll catch you on the next one.